have an expensive package in the trunk. If I get out, what if he drives off with it?
Now she's saying I might drive off with her things when I can clearly just take them out and place them.
You know, I never understood that person who decided in their brain that it was smart to harass their driver. You know, you see it all the time. You see them on the bus, the crazy person harassing the driver. You see it in taxis, Ubers. What really possessed you guys to fuck with the person who has your life in the palms of their hands? What really possessed you to do that? I never understood that, man. I remember I've had all types of travel through Uber and stuff like that, and sometimes it gets a little sketchy. One time I had this Uber and I was going to Alameda College out in the Bay, and I was moving in from like West Oakland or something. So it's really far to get way over to Alameda, and there was this tunnel. There, I remember it. There was like this stretch of tunnel, and for some reason my Uber decided he was Fast and the Furious that day. What am I gonna do? Bitch and cry at him and tell him to slow down and be careful? No. He has my life in the palm of his hands. I remember another time I was driving around in the Uber's car. I hopped in. First thing he talked about, hey, you smoke? Hey, I got some weed for you. I got some, you want to buy? What am I supposed to do? Complain about that and call it unprofessional and call the police on them? Come on, man. I feel like there's certain things that you just need to turn your head and focus on you sometimes. Okay? Because now we have this Uber driver, man, who had on a headset, brother. My brothers and sisters. He wasn't trying to sell her no weed. He wasn't speeding. The man had on a trucker headset. And his passenger absolutely lost his mind, bro. I've seen this circulating online, and I had to talk about it. This is why the name Karen probably won't be able to get used in the coming decades. Because of people like her. Acting like an absolute Karen. This is absolutely crazy. But I want to show you the woman who was fearing for her life in her public transport. Well, I shouldn't say public. In her private ride. Instead of running away from the fear, she decided to stick around and try to get him in trouble. Let's go ahead and check this thing out. So that's the headset right there.
Yeah, for my safety.
If you feel endangered, I would refer you to call the police.
So what do you provide as a safety line?
She says she feels unsafe. I'm sitting here, obviously, have my seatbelt on. Nothing's going on.
Now, that's the first thing I want to point out. She's talking to Uber right now. She's not talking to the police because I think, unlike, Shakira Flabbergasted and some other idiots that we've covered, she probably understands that calling the police will get her arrested because this is not a real emergency. So she's calling the Uber line, and then she's trying to get the Uber line to transfer her to their correctional office or their HR. Get me to somebody who could get this guy in trouble. Now listen, sometimes you hop in an Uber, the guy's having the conversation. I just want to see a list in my comment section. How much of you guys really give a fuck? When I hop in the car and he's on the phone, it's almost like relieving. Thank God I don't have to talk to somebody who I don't want to talk to. I don't know. Maybe that's just the antisocial AG tactical, but sometimes you just don't want to have a conversation with somebody. And even if you did want to have a conversation with this random Uber driver, he doesn't want to have one with you. He's on the headset, completely legal where he is. This lady is... Let's keep it going.
If you feel endangered, I would refer you to call the police.
So what do you provide as a safety line?
911.
She says she feels unsafe. I'm sitting here, obviously, have my seatbelt on. Nothing's going on. She's sitting back there. She refuses to get out of my vehicle. So I'm recording for my safety.
Is there any store or is there anything in the area that you're in that you can go in and wait for your
Look at her
Uber driver?
face.
As you can see, there's businesses right in front of us.
And this is where I feel like, I think, sometimes people can't take accountability. I feel like that's a really big thing for certain people, and that's her problem. If you pay attention, it seems like her face is getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And when the person says, is there anything around the area where you could go to? She's going to look around like she hasn't looked up already. That's shame. She's feeling the shame and it's overwhelming her right now. So she can't back down. She has to stay here and prolong it to make her ego feel a little bit better. This is her face when they said, well, is there any business around? She must be on some type of drugs, bro. Somebody come get your wife, man. Come get your wife. Get her a new haircut. The haircut has her acting up. Cut her hair a different way.
Is there any store or is there anything in the area that
Look at her face.
that you can go in and wait for your
What are you on, lady?
next Uber driver?
As you can see, there's businesses right in front of us. You see the businesses. She's saying she don't feel safe, but she refuses to get out. She can go right to the business over there. There's chairs. She can sit there with her things and wait for her next Uber.
She's gonna drive off with my packages. I mean, this is like, I've never had this before. I'm pretty surprised that you're not able to provide more assistance other than call the police. I have an expensive package in the trunk. If I get out, what if he drives off with it?
Now she's saying I might drive off with her things when I can clearly just take them out and place them over the side.
Get out of his car and he's on the phone with the authorities. You could get your package and wait for your next Uber.
But how do I get the package?
Well, maybe you open the door and you walk out and get it. See, but, we can't do that because this guy is obviously a criminal. It must be the salt and pepper beard or a bit too much of a tan. I don't know which one it is, but he is clearly a criminal because he's employed for Uber. He has a job. So he's clearly a criminal and doesn't have any other way to make money other than stealing your packages. So therefore, you're going to stay in here with this dangerous criminal that you are unsafe with to save your package. I thought if you were really scared for your safety, you would leave the physical things behind. This dangerous criminal is driving around, potentially could run off with your stuff. Maybe he'll run you over on top of that. You should get out of that car and save yourself. Man, get the fuck out of here, bro. Somebody shot her down today. And now she feels like she has to shoot somebody random down. Like her boyfriend broke up with her, or she had a bad day at work, or her family made her feel like a fucking moron, which she probably is. Now she has to get back on the rest of the world. There are people like this, folks, who think like this. She knows she's in the wrong. She's a doofus. And the longer this plays out, I think the more she's starting to realize how stupid she looks.
I need him to open the trunk. Okay.
You can ask him to open the trunk.
Well, I'll do that right now. Whatever gets you out of here, I don't care. I'll open it. You get your package, whatever you need to do.
Now, when I first saw this, I thought you would jump to the front and drive off. I thought she was really on that type of time, but apparently that doesn't happen.
I'm going to get her package out of the back because she's scared I'm going to take her package. This is her package. Get her package out. Set it right here beside her so she can have it.
So she can have it.
Her package is out. Package is right there. I'm right here. I'm getting back into my vehicle.
It must be the anime hoodie. That's probably what got her up in arms. She saw that he was into anime and he likes, adult cartoons and shit. And she was really pulling back with fear the whole ride. He's talking to his buddy on his little headset, probably sounded really aggressive to her. You know, sometimes you can't blame them. Sometimes it's just a little too aggressive for some people, you know? Oh my God. I hope everybody in her hometown roasts her for being such a fucking weirdo. Get off the oxys or whatever the fuck you're on. Please. Looking around like you're in space. And she actually got out. She actually got out, bro. I would have drove off and sprinkled rocks on her ass, but then he probably would have got fired. I hope he didn't get fired, bro. But you guys let me know, what's like the craziest Uber experiences you guys have had, man? My main Uber experiences were just people speeding and people trying to offer me drugs. That's happened multiple times. I don't know why. Maybe I just look like somebody who uses drugs. I don't know. But I don't think I'd ever buy drugs from somebody out of an Uber unless he was really cool. But, you know, it doesn't seem... You know, another thing that happened to me once or twice was I got in the car and the Uber driver stank. And it wasn't even like a little BO from the day. It was like he hadn't showered in like 10 days or some shit. That happened to me multiple times to where I almost had to end the ride. Like it was so close for me to just say, let me get the fuck out of this car. Please, you're killing me. Literal biowarfare. That was probably the worst. Out of the speeding, the drug offering, that smell, that was definitely the worst. But anyways, you guys let me know what you think about this shit, man. Do you think she was racist? Do you think she was having a bad day? Do you think she was on drugs and she just genuinely thought something was off and she was fearing for her life? I don't know. But make sure you hype the video and make sure you give me a Uber story that's good. But anyways, folks, I'll see you real soon. Stay inside, stay safe, and if you must go outside, don't be insufferable to the rest of the world. Peace.
Over the side.
Get out